The fourth annual Doctrine and Devotion Conference is going down September 18th and 19th in Chicagoland, Illinois. For more details, head over to doctrineanddevotion.com/conference or stay tuned. We'll tell you what's going on in just a little bit. Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion. It's a podcast.
Good job, yeah.
Covers faith and
Things.
life and stuff from a Reformed Baptist perspective. You know, we do that stuff.
We do all that stuff.
And who are we?
Well, are you going to say who you are? I'm Jimmy
I will.
Fowler, Executive Pastor at Redeemer Fellowship.
And I'm Joe Thorn. I'm the lead pastor or the preaching pastor here at Redeemer Fellowship.
Are you the guy
man.
that thinks that he's in charge?
No,
Do you
I
get to
knew
make
that-
every decision for us?
No, I don't. Don't get to make any decisions.
No, you don't.
Nope.
We
I get to run ideas by people.
and we get to shoot them down.
Yep. The only ones you guys don't usually shoot down are what I'm going to preach on.
Yep.
And then also what I'm going to preach on.
Yep,
And
that's
then-
two things.
And then what I'm going to preach on.
That's the third one.
That's
That's the one. Those
Usually
are
guys
your
like, yep,
three
that's
areas.
good. Those are, yeah, that's my job description pretty much right there.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
and then
it.
don't touch things. That's another thing. I'm not supposed to touch things.
Don't touch things. Don't play around with Airtable.
Nope.
Don't change any of the settings.
No, I try to add stuff to Airtable, and then I get all the dates wrong. And the dates get messed up.
Oh, yeah. You can't. You can't touch stuff, man.
No, I'm just old.
I don't even know if that's it. I don't know if it has to do with old. There's a lot of there's others that are elderly that handle things just fine. Jeff Willie,
Yeah,
he doesn't mess it up.
Jeff Willie could not add anything to Airtable. Jeff Willie is worse than me. Pastor Jeff is worse than me.
Hence, he does not mess it up.
Okay, that's the point. Is so I'm saying the reason I mess it up.
Well, I'd rather someone not be able to get on and not mess it up than get on and mess it up.
Okay. Why are you being mean to me right now?
I'm not being mean. I'm not. I'm just.
It's embarrassing because everybody's listening. This is an at-home conversation, okay, Jimmy? This is not out in public.
You know what? You're right, Joey. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
I should not have put this out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
You are very good with technology.
Well, you don't have to lie.
Really
you don't have to
good
lie about
at
it.
typing with your two index fingers
And my thumb.
What is this? Like a machine gun?
First of all, I type fast like a machine gun with those two fingers.
Those two fingers, yes.
Yeah, man.
No, you do great.
I can do that. Ugh.
And yeah.
Like that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And it's actually three fingers. It's one index finger, and then it's another index finger, and then my favorite middle finger, and then it is my thumb.
You have a favorite middle finger?
Well, yeah, because it's the longest one.
Gotcha.
It's like the leader of all the fingers.
You're also really good at voice to text.
I do a lot of voice to texting because I'm driving when I am texting. So I can't look at my screen. I just got to hit the thing on my, what do you call it? The steering wheel. It goes boop, boop. And I say, send a text to Jimmy. And then it goes, what would you like to say? And then I start talking.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There you go.
You're getting there because you're no longer texting while you drive, like actually doing.
No, I do not text while I drive.
You don't do any of that. You don't read emails.
No.
You don't do any of that anymore.
I don't know all that I do. There's a lot going on.
I feel like the simple answer would have been, no, I'm not doing any of it.
I don't do anything.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. See?
Now, get serious. Can I get serious for a second? I want to ask you a question. Okay, this is not a joke. This is a real
I feel like you're leading into
I'm
something.
I'm leading into something because it's something that you shared with me. I thought was really important, and I want you to share it with people. For those of you that don't know,
well, none of them are going to know. They wouldn't know. How would they know?
Does Dustin ever listen?
Nope.
Somebody's got to know. Steve. Yeah. There you
go.
Okay.
But Steve don't listen.
Okay. All right. All of you don't know this, but Jimmy is going through a difficult time right now in that his sweet grandmother is very ill. She is in the midst of passing away. Fair to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Any moment now, any day now.
I'm surprised at the time of this recording, it has not happened already.
Okay. So you shared with me, like you're going, you're seeing her, going there every day, talking to her, just, keep cheering her up, loving her, whatever. And I've been in that situation. We've talked about that, but, she said something to you, that was troubling her. And I really appreciated what you said to her in response to that as a son and as a pastor. So could you,
grandson.
Yeah. As a grandson, it's all the same. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Sorry. last week, she was still in the hospital. It was the last day that she was going to be in the hospital. She'd been in the hospital, or in and out of the hospital for the past few weeks, right? And so she was, going to be leaving. I didn't know she was going to be leaving at that point, but so I went to go visit her at the hospital in the morning. Had an opportunity to sit with her and talk. And as soon as the nurse left, just holding her hand, talking to her, and she goes, I need to talk to you. I have regrets, and I have regrets that I need to talk to you about. And I'm thinking, going through my head, like, I don't know why she's got anything to regret. She's great grandmother, very loving, very caring, supportive,
what
encouraging.
Possible secret could there be?
Oh, I know. I'm
right?
thinking and then I'm going through my head. I'm like, is it my dream come true? Am I adopted? Like,
that explains everything.
Is that why I'm the calm one of the family? Like, what's going on? And that's not a dream come true. That's a joke. I can have jokes just in case for some reason a family member listens. But no, she goes, I regret I have not been praying. Ever since I've been coming out of the hospital, I have not been praying every day. I've not been reading. And she was really distraught by this. She's like, why would I do that?
Not an unhealthy concern to have for oneself, to think, why am I not praying?
But it's odd because we don't think that way. Right. We just continue our day not praying.
I'm busy.
Sorry, Jesus. You can have these 5 minutes in the car.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
well, it'll be about 2 because I'll space out after that.
You'll space out after that. But yeah, like it's something we should be thinking about, but I personally don't. And so she was really troubled by this I've stopped praying the last few weeks. I have not been praying every day. I've not been confessing to him. Why would I do that? And so, I had the opportunity to just, I guess, comfort her, encourage her in, Grandma, you're weak, right? You're weak. You're frail right now. You're going through something, disturbing and you're hurting.
You're tired.
Yeah. Right? And I go, of course, my sweet grandma's like, that's not really an excuse. That's all the more I should be praying, right? And so I do, well, Grandma, Scripture talks about when, even at our weakest, when we do not know how to pray, the Spirit intercedes on our behalf with groanings too deep for words.
That's it.
And so, Grandma, even though you've been unable to, know that the Lord is still blessing you in this, that the Spirit of God himself is interceding on your behalf through this. And I'd be worried, the fact that you're concerned about it really shows the loving commitment that you have for the Lord, right? And how genuine your faith is. And so, yeah, I got to encourage her in that way and talked about her faithfulness and even just 2 days ago, that night, she got to go home. We went and visited her, brought the kids and everything. She was night and day from what I saw.
She saw the grandkids.
She saw the grandkids. Yeah. And then even yesterday when I went by, she's just completely, it's different. She can't really open her eyes. Her breathing's hard. She can't talk. But I was able to sit with her and hold her hand and just talk to her. But when my cousin came in from Colorado, who just had a baby, said, hey, Grandma Rachel's here and she brought the baby, and Grandma just popped up, eyes open. She was like, oh, I got to see my grandbaby. But I had an opportunity it was just a sweet moment of being able to pray with her, not just that Friday, but even yesterday, of just holding close to her and just saying, Grandma, you've ran the race, right? Like, well done. Yeah. Just well done, Grandma. And just the example of faithfulness, and just the example of that communion with God, desiring a communion with God, something not just like static or going through the motions, but it actually was something that she missed, and she felt convicted of not understanding. Just why would I not be pressing in on this, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good example for me in the midst of this, of like, how often am I like genuinely like praying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then evaluating
myself, right? Like, it was definitely a time of evaluation of where's my prayer life at? How do I value prayer like my grandmother values prayer, right? Who, as she longed for this, even though she's been unable to go to worship on Sunday, still participating and being a part of the gathering, in any way she could, reading scripture as she could, and praying as often as she did. So I was just, I was really blown away by just that grace, the grace that God had given me, the gift that God had given me, and being able to share that moment with Grandma and to see like this seasoned saint.
You're a good son.
Grandson, but whatever.
Yeah, I keep doing that. Good grandson and a good son. I still was right.
I don't know. I'll let my dad decide that one.
No, your dad. Your parents can't decide that. All right. So we've got I got a brief episode here for everybody. We're going to talk about catechesis. We're going to talk about catechisms, and because that's going to lead us into the next stage of doctrine and devotion.
So Joe, like for Steve, when we're talking about catechism, right? Can you help him understand what is a catechism?
A catechism is a series of questions and answers that are designed to be memorized and taught so that one's faith and theology is strengthened and broadened. And so
that was well put.
The most famous, at least the most well-known question from a catechism that I think is probably the most well-known is from the Westminster Shorter Catechism. It's a Presbyterian Catechism, and that is, what is man's chief end? And the answer is, man's chief end is to glorify God and enjoy him forever. So what are some of the famous catechisms? Obviously, I just said Westminster. Any come to mind?
Well, I was thinking of Keach's. Right?
Yeah, Keach's Catechism, or the Baptist Catechism. It's called that. People like the Heidelberg. That's a beautiful catechism. There's a bunch of them. There are catechisms for boys and girls that you can get. Some for children. Boyce has one. James Pettigrew Boyce wrote one for boys and girls.
Boys.
Yeah, that one. Not the Presbyterian Boyce. I like him even more, but I'm talking about the Baptist Boyce. I like the Presbyterian Boyce better.
Why is that?
Because he didn't fight for slavery. Anyway,
that's a good.
One reason.
That's one reason.
One reason. He's wrong. I think he's wrong on baptism, but he's right on.
He's right on slavery.
Yes.
Slavery. On the image of God and imprint upon all mankind. Yes.
That kind of stuff. So. All right, so that's what a catechism is. Why do these matter, Jimmy? Why is a catechism?
Well, I think it matters because it's useful, right? It's a useful kind of compact devotional or study that one could take with them and be able to kind of take these large, like, doctrines of our faith, right? These large theological juggernaut statements and treatises and boil it down to something that is manageable and memorable.
Ooh, that's good.
That was good.
Manageable
and memorable.
Dang, bro.
That was fire. Whoa.
Yeah.
You know what? Grandma been praying for me.
You could chill. I thought she hasn't been praying for you. But the Spirit has been praying.
Yeah, but no. She's been praying. She's been praying since then.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That was a turning moment for her. She's been praying and trying hard.
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. I think that's a really good way to put it, right? These are manageable, memorable statements that we are designed to interact with. And that's how you use them. Like a lot of people look at a catechism and they think, it's gonna memorize. I have to memorize stuff. Nobody wants to memorize anything. Why would I have to memorize something?
Why not? I have Google.
Yeah, listen, people don't even know.
People don't even know their phone numbers anymore. Do you remember your house phone number? I still remember the house phone number.
232-6145.
See, 630-513-7371. That was my phone number growing up.
That was a landline I had. Yep, all through the 80s.
You can call it all you want because it ain't going to me.
Ain't going to my house. 232-6145. Area code 630. But back then it was 708.
Ooh, I was always 630.
They changed it because you're younger.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not just memorizing something, and there's more to it than that. I think a good way to use a catechism is for it to be studied and taught. So ideally, if let's say it's a parent going to catechize their children, have them memorize the question and the answer for question 1 or whatever question you're on. They have all week to do it. And then on Saturday or Sunday, or maybe every day throughout the week, however you want to do it, you as the parent then unpack it for them. You're like, oh, okay, so man's chief end. Let's just talk about man. Why does it say man? What does it mean by that? Is it just man? No, it means humanity in here. So we're talking about all humanity. And then what is a chief end? And so you can unpack that stuff as you go. If you don't have someone teaching you, then there are resources. There are expositions or commentaries on these classic catechism that you can read. So that's how they should be used. And because they are written the way they are, the good ones, the memorable ones, well, they stick with you. In fact, when I was in seminary, Dr. Nettles would make us memorize portions of the Baptist Catechism. He didn't make us memorize all of it. But you'd show up and he would call on people randomly. He'd be like, all right, Mr. Thorn, what are the decrees of God?
And they are?
The decrees of God are his eternal purpose, according to the counsel of his will, whereby for his own glory he has foreordained whatsoever comes to pass. But obviously I'm going to use that one because I have it still in my brain.
Well done.
Most of them are not in my brain.
No, but I'm still impressed.
Yeah,
I'm still impressed.
I used that one. But
so it's still impressive. That's one more than most of our listeners.
It's 100% more than you.
Hey, what? No, I memorized.
The Baptist Catechism?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
not the title. I'm talking about the actual questions.
Okay. No, sorry. I just got the title. Yes, I just know what it's called.
And so he would make you memorize it. And by the way, I think it was him who had us do this, or if he didn't, I learned it from somebody else. But my habit, it was him. I remember Dr. Nettles would do this. He would write the whole answer out, question and answer, but he'd write the whole answer out on the whiteboard. And then we would all read it together, right? The decrees of God, blah, blah, blah. And then he would erase one word. And then you would read it again and you'd know that word. And then you'd erase one more word and you would do that and do that. And typically by the end, you got it. You pretty got it. You just got to work on it the rest of it. Pretty cool stuff. So there are ways to do this that really are helpful, but people don't really use them anymore because they're not popular. I mean, why do so many Christians and why do so few Christians and churches use catechism?
Well, I think part of it is because people are going to go as leadership goes, right? And so if leadership doesn't value that kind of theological training or the catechesis, then the people are not going to value that themselves, right? And so I think typically we've got now, I mean, there's been this, or there was, I should say, back in your day, this like push for non-denominational churches, like atheological churches that didn't really have that historical, maybe that's, I'm really painting with broad brushstrokes here, but it's like this, like they weren't behold. I don't know. It wasn't like
I'm trying to think.
It wasn't.
They're not connected to a particular strand of church history.
So then, exactly. So if they're not connected to that strand, they don't value it as much, or it's not. It's not a priority for them. I mean, I think that's a fair way to say it.
It's not in their church DNA.
Correct. Because I didn't want to use the phrase like they don't value it as if they don't value history.
Yeah.
But maybe that is part of it. But I don't think that's fair of everyone. I would say though it's not a priority.
Yeah, I would say it's fair for us to say of any of our churches, if you aren't preaching theology, if you aren't learning theology, then you don't value it. You can say you value it all you want, but you're not. And that goes for Baptists, Presbyterians, whatever. But we could also say that if you're not preaching repentance on the regular, you don't value repentance either. So like it applies to everything. It's fair to say, as long as we're not being mean to other people and ignoring our own faults. So I think that's true. I think that's probably the biggest reason is that this atheological sort of ethos. And I also think I think that because it's not easy and it doesn't appear to be super practical, like we went through this whole thing in the 80s and the 90s, like it's got to be practical. Preaching's got to be practical. And that's what all
here's your 3 application points.
Yeah. And so it's all about like, how is understanding a definition of God, like God is a spirit, infinite, eternal. Like how is that going to help me in my marriage? Well, actually it will. But it's not going to be a simple one-to-one connection as you're imagining. So I think because it's not easy, it's not practical. It's another reason people tend to shy away from these things. But you know what would help? I think if there's one thing that could help people begin to appreciate things like confessions and catechisms, I think it would probably be the Doctrine and Devotion conference that's going down on September 18th and 19th.
here in Chicagoland. And our theme for this 2-day conference is Covenant Theology, God Promises for God's People. And
bam,
who's going to be speaking, Joey?
I'm going to be preaching.
You know what? I'm going to be preaching.
Woohoo! But we got a heavy hitter. We always have a heavy hitter coming.
And this one, this year it's Dr. Sam Renihan.
Ooh.
He will be our keynote speaker. He's going to be joined by Joey and I. And he's going to be walking us through the biblical covenants between God and his people.
Your covenant theology needs sharpening, needs bolstering.
It needs Sam Renihan.
Yep, it does. So if they want to get in on this, they go to doctrineanddevotion.com/conference. There it is, /conference. You can see all what's going on, register, and we're going to have a hangout. It's going to be awesome. Check it out. All right, Jimmy. We've got these 3 things we've been talking about, right? We just had Jim Renihan, the OG, the Grand Poobah, talking about his book coming out on the First London Confession.
Yep.
We obviously just spent the last few years going through the Second London Confession.
Yes, you're welcome, internet world.
Okay, well now, if there is a third piece to this tripart doctrinal puzzle, it would be the Baptist Catechism, which Jimmy and many people call Keach's Catechism.
Yep.
This was a catechism that was written up in 1693. And listen, I keep seeing this thing. I'm getting confused.
Oh.
I got some questions. Hang on. Can we?
Let's dial him in.
Okay, use the bat phone?
Bat phone it now.
It's a good thing that we have the bat phone.
Oh,
we get the bat phone. So when we have questions about stuff, we pick up the bat phone, and down in the bat cave in Texas, Dr. Renihan picks up.
Oh, that's right. And as he's waiting for a salmon, and I know how important salmon is to you, Dr. Renihan, and I know how important it is to make sure it's done on time, because if it's overcooked, it ain't good.
Right.
It's chewy. It's bad, isn't it?
We're not going to keep you. I know we got something going on over there. So, okay, couple of questions. Concerning the Baptist Catechism, it is sometimes called Keach's Catechism, even though it looks pretty clear that it was written by William Collins primarily. Why? I have a guess, but why has it become known, or why did it become known as Keach's Catechism so shortly after it was written?
Yeah, you'll find that there are different versions of it, especially the first couple of questions are different here and there. And it seems to be that Keach probably edited it at some point and issued it. And so certain versions came to be called Keach's Catechism. And then over the years, it was specifically identified with him. My son Sam did a blog, pettyfrancewordpress.org or .com, whatever it is, where he talks about Keach's Catechism and William Collins and answers that question. That would be a place to look.
Great. That's super helpful. Okay. Also, that was another question. The ones that I have in print, of the Baptist Catechism. Question 2 is not taken from the Westminster Shorter Catechism. But when I find the copy that says Keach's Catechism online, there it is, what is man's chief end? Is that just what you're talking about? Like there's different early versions, and because I don't find that in the copies that I have here on my desk.
Right. Yes. It was not in the original. It's just sometimes people like that question from the Westminster Shorter Catechism and decided to drop it in there in the same place that it would be in Westminster.
Okay.
But it's one of those examples of differences that you find between various versions.
Great.
Yeah. It's a good question because people get confused, and I fairly regularly, I'd say 3 or 4 times a year, get an email where somebody is asking me exactly what that question.
Okay. One last question, and then we'll let you get to your salmon. Now, when I keep seeing this online, if I could bring it up, that'd be easier. It looks like it was written in 1693.
Right.
Why do I keep finding it online where people say Keach's Catechism 1677? When the Second London Confession was written. What's going on there? Is that just somebody not knowing what they're doing? Because I see it everywhere.
Yes, basically somebody not knowing what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no Baptist Catechism until 1693, and the earliest extant copy that we have is from 1695.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Renihan, thank you for staying by the bat phone for us, so we can call you. We promise not to abuse that privilege.
My pleasure. Anytime I can be with you guys, it's always a delight to be with you guys, even though we're separated by 1,000 miles. It's great to see you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. That is why we have him. That is why we get Jim Renihan on the phone.
And by the way, how many of you guys have Dr. Renihan on the bat phone?
Ooh,
you don't, do you? No, they don't have that. Just us.
Just us. No, you guys don't have his cell?
They don't have his cell. This is his.
Not only do we have his cell, well, we just connect, through his wife's iPad.
Oh yeah, we got all the things. We got his second cell phone.
We got his house phone. I got his fax line. I got his office line.
Yep.
And his office phone and his kid's phone.
You know what? I got his iTunes password. Oh, we should watch some movies.
Let's do that. Can you imagine if we watch movies on his account and it shows up on his it starts suggesting movies for him?
It would be a mix of your comedy movies that are over the line and my horror movies that are over the line. And the Red Hands would be like, what the heck is going on?
Why am I watching Scary Movie?
That would be the blend. Be like, what in the world? This is wildly inappropriate. Alrighty. So that answered some questions. So the Baptist Catechism was written in 1693.
And Joey and I do not watch Scary Movie.
No, I don't. I've
never actually watched that.
Not my thing. I like scary movies.
I like
and Jimmy
comedy,
likes funny movies and parodies, but not that. No.
But I just trying to think what's the most over the top blend
that would
of
be
the two.
That would be the perfect awful blend.
I know, but I know someone listening is like,
yeah. Okay, you know what? Bye, Felicia.
Cancel them.
I haven't seen Friday either. I haven't seen Friday. Neither has Jimmy, I'm sure. You haven't seen Friday.
Okay, now I was not always a believer.
Oh, but you didn't. So you haven't watched Friday then since you've been a believer is what you're saying. Okay, got it.
No, the question had been, the question was, have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
And yes, I have.
Yeah.
And 2 and 3, yes.
Yeah, okay. Ice Cube.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I had to watch it.
All right. So this was written in 1693, not in 1677. So do not listen to those internet people that are telling you that this was written then. And we know that this was written in 1693 because you can read a resolution that was passed by the General Assembly of Particular Baptists in England when they said that William Collins is going to be tasked with putting together this catechism. So, but it did become known as Keach's Catechism. And why did Jim said it was because he had done his own edit or added something to it later.
Yeah. So he was likely involved. And so because he also had that name recognition, right?
He got the brand.
It's kind of like when we talk about Doctrine and Devotion, everyone's always like, fofo. It's that name recognition, right?
I don't think.
It's kind of like,
no,
it's like that. It's like that. I'm pretty sure. It's with that name recognition, people, they associate the two.
JoFo.
No,
they
fofo.
say JoFo to both of us,
they
but they don't single out one.
No, they say fofo when it comes to D&D.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Okay.
Hashtag fofo.
Agree to disagree.
Hashtag fofo.
Agree to disagree. All right. So the Baptist Catechism, also known as Keach's Catechism, but don't call it that because that's not what it is. Call it the Baptist Catechism. That's what we're doing next.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the whole thing. We'll cover one question at a time sometimes two
or three.
Yeah.
Depends on if they all kind of fit together.
So we are really excited to do this. We want you to join us as we do it. Now,
this is going to be good.
A couple of things. When we did the 1689, we titled every episode in as like the 1689 12.1 or whatever. Chapter 12, paragraph 1. We're not going to do that for this. We'll give you that information in the description or the show notes, but for the titles, we want them to be more broadly understood as soon as they see it. So be on the lookout for that. This is going to drop Monday. We're going to get into it on Monday. So pay attention to that. Also, you're going to need a copy of this thing.
Ooh. So which one should they get?
The one that Jimmy and I have is it's this hardcover, like leather covered hardcover thing. Anyways, it's the Confession, it's the 1689 and the Baptist Catechism. And it's hardcover. It's really, really nice. And you got to get this.
Move up. Speaking to the mic.
Well, I am.
No, you weren't though.
I will stop it.
Speaking to the mic.
Everybody heard.
Speaking to the mic.
It's by Solid Ground Christian Books. We'll have a link if you want to get that. And we're also going to encourage you to get a copy of Benjamin Bedham's Scriptural Exposition of the Baptist Catechism.
Ooh.
So this is a really cool sort of interaction with each of the questions, bringing up more scriptures and more questions and more observations. That is going to be really useful. We'll have a link. You can find that version of that online for free, but we'll also link to a book so you can get a copy of that. But we're getting into the Baptist Catechism. Oh, it's going to be good.
Oh, I'm really excited for this.
Baptist Catechism, man.
Oh, of course we have to do it.
Yeah.
How are we not going to do this?
We got to get Brian to put the Baptist Catechism on the website.
Are we really going to have him do that?
No, he is too busy.
He's way too busy.
He's already working on a design for us.
I know. If we ask him to do that, he'll do it.
I know.
And that's why I think we can't ask him.
And then Tizetso, his son will look at us and be like, you took my father.
No, he'll just look at me. Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue in the middle.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. That song is so sad.
When you coming home, Dad, I don't know then. But we'll get together then.
That's
I know it'll be a good time then.
That's a brutal song. Everybody hates that song because it's so sad and so real.
It's so real.
Why are you bumming me out?
When I first heard that song, I was young.
Obviously. And it was after it had come out for quite a bit.
Yeah. And like I heard it, I'm like, why are they dedicating a song to like that string game?
Oh,
the Cat's Cradle string.
yeah.
I was like, people are dumb. Like, that's all I kept going through my head. I was like, why would they do that?
Yeah. Why is it called that?
I don't know.
I don't even know what that's all about.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts. You could follow us online on Instagram and Twitter at Doc and Devo, or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head to the website, doctrinedevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast. Hit up the store, JoFoStore.com, and grab some gear. Fresh pod every Monday and Thursday. Blog post on Wednesdays. We're looking forward to it. Grab the Keach's Catechism. And we're getting ready for Monday.
Use the Catechism.
I'm going to just do that because I want to know.
Baptist Catechism.
Find the Baptist Catechism. We're starting on Monday. Later.